boys. Ready? Yes, you're doing it. Stay with it. Whoa, it worked!
Wow, feel that? What power! He's the one, all right. There's no doubt about it.
That was fairly exciting. Are we ever going to move away from a mindless clusterfuck of a video to a more civilized discussion video? So Kayle is a fairly interesting champ, not in the sense that she is complex or anything, on the contrary, she is quite basic. She gets some free stats on her passive, a slow on Q, a speed buff on W, a range and damage amplifier on E, with a fairly strong invulnerability ultimate. So strong indeed that Riot decided to put it in the game twice. What I mean when I say she's interesting is that she's rare these days. I think the last time I saw a Kayle was well over a month ago. This shocked me since Kayle can be forced into almost any lane. I've seen her top, I've seen her mid, I've seen her a lot in the jungle. I even myself tried her as a support. The secret is not to support. But I digress. Let's move on to the actual guide part of this video. We start off by taking a look at her lure, since I firmly believe that this is an important part of every single champion in the game. In her lure it states that Kayle comes from another world, which implies that she's an alien. It also says that she is taking part of an ancient war. This has striking similarities to the plot of that anime I once watched, leaving me to wonder if Kayle has any cat ears. Then the lure just de-evolves into praising her awesome sword and armor, kind of edgy if you ask me. And the edge doesn't stop there, since they tell us why she's hiding her face under that helmet in the first place. But this is fairly pointless information, since 5 out of the 9 skins that Kayle has, she's not wearing the helmet. But I guess it does answer the question of the cat ears. Thanks for leaving that up to the imagination, Riot. And from there on we find out why she joined the league. It's because her sister did it first. We have a basic idea now of who Kayle is, and why she does what she does. Let's take a look at what she actually does. Kayle's passive is pure value, just pure value. You know, when I was doing the Zen Zhao video, and I took a look at his passive, I thought to myself, oh boy, that's pretty strong. You get half a black cleaver for free. There's no ifs or buts, you just need to attack the guy. But looking at Kayle's passive, it puts him to shame. She breaks not only the armor of her opponent, but also the magic resistance. And unlike Zen that is restricted to one target, she can stick that stuff on as many targets as she wants to. This is why you get that hurricane later on. Kayle's Q is It Could Have Been Great. This is a boring but balanced point and click slow ability that scales fairly well with AP and AD, which applies one stack of your passive on your target. Nothing interesting going on here, it just helps you stick to your target. Kayle's W is speed buff, not heal. It is quite similar to the previous ability in that it almost achieves the same goal but with different utility. This is a single target heal ability that gives you a speed boost. You can imagine with the combination of the two abilities that you would be quite hard to chase down or get away from. Kayle's E is Righteous Fury. This ability grants bonus range, bonus attack damage, and cleave around your primary target. This ability is similar to an ultimate ability from another hero in a different game I occasionally play. And finally, Kayle's R, Intervention. It's been a while since I've seen an ability so perfectly named. The only other one I can think of from the top of my head is Thresh's Death Sentence. Intervention is a point and click spell that can block all incoming damage on your target for 3 seconds. This will be your make or break ability. You need to time this one perfectly. Use it right before someone uses their burst, since it's much more helpful blocking 1000 damage at full health than blocking 100 damage at 5. If you want my advice, use this only on yourself, no one else. Unless you have a pre-made buddy, you can share the light with them, but chances are if you put this on a random person, they're gonna run away with it, and you're gonna be fairly vulnerable for a long time. None of Kayle's abilities are fairly exciting on their own, but when mixed together you get yourself a dangerous concoction of spells with some fairly interesting item interactions. Now that that's out of the way, let's move on to the setup stage. For your runes, I recommend flat attack speed with some armor. You don't need anything else, no attack damage, no ability power, just attack speed, since your E gives you all the extra damage you need early on. For your masteries, I recommend Further of Battle for obvious reasons. Your summoner spell should be Smite for the jungle and Ghost, since nothing puts the fear of God in someone's eyes like an archangel traveling towards them at speeds unknown to mortals. This will be your starting items, followed by the Smite upgrade of your choice, and then the Blood Razor enchantment. Your next item should be an on-hit one, preferably Nashir's Tooth, but Wit's End and Blade of the Ruined King can work as well. And then you will transition into your Hurricane, for the teamfight potential it offers. You should start at the red buff side, since it would be a shame not to put those attack speed runes to good use. After you clear the rocks, you should move straight on to the chickens, so you can smite the red buff for the healing it offers. You might then consider going to the Scuttle Crab, since it's basically free money and free health. All whilst doing this, you should look out for potential ganks. In my game that I used to record this video, I was lucky enough to see that there was a free kill mid. Sadly, all I could achieve during my gank was to burn the enemy's flash. But if nothing happens, you should then go straight to the wolves right after you do the Scuttle Crab and finish the rest of your jungle. If you have trouble kiting the jungle monsters, you might want to back sooner, pick up some more items, and then finish your jungle. In the early to mid game, you should focus on getting your items, clearing your jungle and taxing the waves, only ganking when you know you can get something out of it. It's worth dying for a kill, and it's worth sacrificing your team for a kill. Just don't go too overboard with this whole thing. Only contest dragon when it's infernal or mountain. The other two are irrelevant to you. At the later stages of the game you might want to consider buying more defensive items such as Guardian Angel or QSS, since if your opponents are competent at all, they will try and focus you down. That pretty much concludes my guide for Jungle Kayle. This should help anyone unfamiliar with the champion get along, but from here on out it's pretty much just personal experience.